Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be working on a new border today. My name is Deanne Castro. I'm a Creative Memories Advisor in Bakersfield, California, and I love scrapbooking. You've probably seen maybe my other videos. Thank you so much for joining me for this new one. And let me know what you think of the idea. If you have any suggestions, stuff like that, you can also send me an email deannecmc2@yahoo.com. And you can also, if you'd like to see other ideas, um, this is a work in progress, but I am trying to find other ideas from like the Creative Memories virtual crop, add them into this Facebook group. And I also show new products coming up. We have a new promo coming out on Monday, and I think you're going to want to see it. So ask to join this Facebook group, and it's already posted. You'll be able to see what's coming out tomorrow. And if you do not have an advisor, you can go ahead and go onto my website, check out the various products, and let me know if you need help with anything. But otherwise, if you do have an advisor and you see things you like in this video, go ahead and get a hold of her to get these different products. So let's get started. This is the border that we're going to be working on today. These papers are out of the newest secret box that was opened last couple weeks ago, I think. You can still get them. They're still available on the website. This is using the Rolling Hills Bikes Border Maker cartridge that was included in that secret box. It also uses the Tire Tracks Border Maker cartridge that is so versatile. You can use it for lots of different backgrounds. It really is not just for tire tracks, as you can see in this. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is take this paper and I'm going to cut the bicycle cartridge. So I'm going to just slide it in here. Make sure the knobs are facing out and it clicks. And I'm going to put the paper in the paper holder and put the paper all the way up to the edge of this tray. Push the paper down, push the tray back underneath. And then I'm going to put the paper in between here. I'm going to line this mark up with this little knob right here. And I'm going to do that all the way down. So I'm going to put the paper in. You'll feel it click in there and press down. Pull this out, put it back in, and just follow down each knob. Make sure you push it all the way in each time so that you get a good smooth cut all the way down the bikes here. Okay. Take this out. Now I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to trim it at 2 inches. So I'm going to get my trimmer out. And I'm going to line the top of the bikes with the 2-inch line. So the very top of the handlebars of the bike are going to be at the 2-inch. So I'm going to cut this down. Now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to actually use just the cartridge here. And I'm going to turn it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the punch to where it's going to punch in between these 2 bikes because I want the bikes to be alternating on each side, okay? So it's just something you just have to kind of eyeball. It's really not a science. So I'm just going to try to line the bike. Can you see it in there? to where it's kind of right in between the other two on the other side right there. Okay. So you just got to kind of estimate it, kind of look at where the wheels are. Okay, so I've got the wheels kind of going about the same distance where the wheels are on the other side. And I'm just going to punch it. Okay, now it did leave extra spot on this side, but I'm going to come back and punch that a little bit later. Now I'm going to put this back in, and this section right here is going to go right up to the edge. So can you see that hole right in there? I'm going to push it right up to the edge. Make sure this is pushed all the way in. Get a better grip on this here. And I'm just going to, where I can just barely see. Can you see that there? Just barely see the edge that's already punched on there. I'm going to punch it again. Okay, and I'm going to do that all the way down. So you can see how it's just kind of alternating the bikes like that. So I'll put this back in. Do the same thing. Just line it up right on that edge. If you get it too close, you may end up with a little line going down, a paper line going down. That's okay. You can trim that later. Trying to make sure it's all the way in there, because otherwise you're going to get a little bit of a mark right here that it wasn't cut exact, but you can fix that later. That one. Now this is going to go off the edge, and that's okay because we're just going to trim the section of the bike off when we're done here. Okay, so we won't keep that little part of the bicycle. Now I'm going to go back up to the top, and I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm going to just see a little section there and cut that off. Okay. You may want to do that on scratch paper the first couple of times, just so you can get an idea of how this actually works. Now here I'm just going to trim off this little bite. And I've got a little section here that wasn't exact. So I'm just going to trim that off. And I got another one here. And I'm just going to trim that real easy. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to take this very last section, this bite, and I'm going to trim that off. Okay. Now we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. I know some people, that makes you a little nervous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these apart. And I'm just going to eyeball the center and just cut these apart, following this little curved, the little curved sections on here. Okay, so I think I've got a little section on here that may need to trim too. There we go. So I'm just going to try to follow this curve and just slowly cut these apart. Try to stay in the middle, but if you don't, it's not a big deal. And there we go. Okay, Just like that, you've got the two strips of the bicycles. Okay, how was that? I know the fussy cutting may have made a couple of you nervous, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be exact because once you get it on here, no one's going to know the difference. Okay, so I'm going to move these up just a little bit. Now what I want to do is I'm going to switch out this cartridge and I'm going to put in the tire tracks. Now to get this wide with it still put together, we're going to score it and we're going to fold it. Okay, so here is the black paper. I'm actually using black shimmer. You can use any one that you want, but I'm kind of partial to the shimmer paper. So I'm going to take out the straight blade and I'm going to put in the scoring blade. One of the reasons I like using the shimmer paper is because it's thinner. So when you're scoring these and you're double punching, it's easier on your blades and it's easier to punch and things don't get real stuck together. So now I'm going to line this up at the 1-inch mark and I'm just going to score it. Don't press too hard because it will go through the paper, especially if this mat is not new right here. If it's got a little bit of a groove in it, you don't want to push too hard because it's going to cut through your paper. You just want it scored so you can fold it. Now I'm putting the regular blade back in. Okay, I'm going to fold this over. And I'm going to take this paper holder back out. I'm going to pull out the tray. Now you probably noticed I have a piece of paper. It's a 1/4 inch piece of paper that I've got stuck on here, which is the repositionable tape. So I can take it off later if I don't want it on there. But when we did the bicycle, we put the paper all the way up to the edge of the tray. This time we've got the folded edge in here and I got it folded under because it's less likely to get stuck in the trimmer, in the punch. I'm going to line the black edge of that fold right along that 1/4 inch line. Okay, so it's not going to go all the way inside of the cutting cartridge. And that's going to allow us to be able to unfold this and put it on here. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the paper in, push it over in, then gently pull that out so it doesn't get stuck in there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut it all the way down again. Okay, go easy because sometimes that fold underneath can get stuck. It tends to not do that much on this one, but it can on some of the others. Okay, now we're going to take this out and we're going to cut this at 1 inch. So I'm going to leave the fold on there so I can see really where that inch is. And I'm going to line it up on the 1-inch line and then cut it. So we're going to end up with a 2-inch piece as when we unfold it. Okay, and then see how that looks? It just lines it up just perfect. I really like that idea. I've done this on other punches before. You've probably seen them. Now I'm going to cut a couple more pieces of the border before we stop. I've got this blue piece that shows from underneath. This is a bright blue cardstock that just came out. It's a limited edition in the paper pack and also was in the cardstock buffet. So you may have seen it. Now I'm going to cut this at 1 inch because I don't want it going all the way across the bottom because I want some of that orange to show through. Okay, so I've got the 1-inch piece. And then I'm going to take this orange piece with the white polka dots, and I'm going to cut this one at 2 1/4. So this is 2 1/4 inch. If you want, you can use any of the decorative blades. I have several of them underneath my trimmer here. So you can just give a little bit of a decorative edge to the end of the border. I'm not on this one, but you can see how that works. Okay, put the trimmer out of the way, and now we're starting to put this together. So I'm going to put one of these bicycles on here, and I'm going to put it to where the handlebars just go to the top of the black, right there. Okay, now I'm going to put my repositionable adhesive on here. This is easier because if you want to reposition it, you can just lift it off, and then eventually the repositionable tape becomes permanent. Oh, I'm running out. I've got a new one in here. I do. Okay. So now I'm going to line up the bicycles on the top section of this border. And again, making sure that the handlebars are right above the top of the black piece there. All right. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. But I need to train out my tape because I ran out. Okay. Now I'm going to put more repositionable tape on this side. Turn this around. And do the same thing on this side. Okay. Now I'm going to take some 1-inch blue piece and I'm going to put it underneath just to add a little bit of color and make the bike stand out more on that black. And I'm going to put it right in the middle. And then I'm going to adhere this piece to the orange piece. And attach this right down the middle. And we have our finished border. Isn't that cool? I love this border. I think this is so fun. I cannot wait to put this on my beach pictures from this summer. I also have a different idea here, something that's similar. It's not quite finished, but we also have a new kite punch. It is a flying kite punch, and it's really fun because it punches out 2 little ties that goes with the kite. I don't have this quite finished here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a colored pen, maybe a gold, and then I'll be able to add the little ties to the kite string like that. I just don't have the pen handy right now, but you can see what I'm going to finish this off with. So when I punched it, it came up with not only the kite, but also these little ties. And this is a cool little tool. It has just a little rubber end to it If you want to pick up little pieces fairly easily, just maybe get a couple more here. Okay, so you've got these little tiny pieces. Remember the name of the tool? I'll have to put the name of the tool in the comments because at the moment I can't remember what it is. But it just allows you to pick up little pieces and set them right down where you're going to want to put them. So isn't that cute? So this is just another variation of the original bike border. If you want to make it a little smaller, you can do that. Here's the bike one. That's a little thinner. This one is a total of 1.5 inches. So I didn't fold this over. I just punched it once on the black. And the bikes, when I punched the one end, I then cut it at 1 3/4 inches instead of 2 inches. And then I turned around and I actually then hand punched the other side. But then I didn't have to cut this in half. It gave it just a real fun swirly bottom here on this. And this, then the orange is just 1.5 inches. And on this one, you can also see I used the decorative edge on the border. All right, so there you go. Let me know what you think. And I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.